Hey there, my Goobers. This is Ryan coming to you from Charleston, South Carolina. I have with me Bryant Graves, who is Face's brother and a very good friend of mine, and also a huge Goober. We're going to be going around exploring a little bit today, seeing some of the sights, telling you why you should come to Charleston on your next vacation.
We began our journey on John's Island at the Angel Oak Tree. Thought to be among the oldest living things in the USA, the tree is estimated to be in excess of 1,500 years old. Now, if this isn't the oldest tree I've ever seen, it's definitely the biggest. It stands 66.5 feet tall and has a circumference of 28 feet. The oak derives its name from the estate of Justice and Martha Angel, although local folklore tells stories of ghosts of former slaves who would appear as angels around the tree. Now, it is a little ways off the beaten path, but it is free, and I thought it was pretty awesome, so I'd recommend you go see it. Piggly Wiggly to me is a flavor of the South that I don't get where I live, so I always get a huge kick of going there when I'm in Charleston.
We are here at the Piggly Wiggly. This is actually not the one on Highland. This is the one on Bohicket Road. And I looked up what Bohicket means. I've always said that word because it's hilarious, but there's actually no good definition of the word Bohicket except on Urban Dictionary, and they have a definition, of course, for everything. I totally love the South because they can get away with naming their streets whatever they want. Miss Daisy, look, yonder's the Piggly Wiggly. See?
Our next stop was a visit to Daniel Island. This beautiful island was used for farming, ranching, and as a hunting retreat until residential development began in 1996. It's promoted on their website as a master plan community, which makes it sound like some type of a Dharma Initiative-esque utopia, but it's actually quite a beautiful little place. One half is a multi-million-dollar home community built around the famous Beresford Creek Golf Course, which has hosted some of the most prestigious golf tournaments, including the PGA National Tour Championship. Now, I don't know much about golf, but this course looks incredible. Besides golf, the Daniel Island Club offers swimming, tennis, fitness, and dining opportunities for its members and their guests. Right in front of the clubhouse is even a professional croquet court, which I've never heard of before. The other side of the island is a little town so cute and clean that you'll think you're dropped right into Sea Haven, and you might involuntarily burst into song as you link arms with strangers and skip down the street. I didn't have much time to explore, but I have read tons of online reviews raving about the ideal shopping and dining opportunities they have to offer. Boone Hall Plantations and Gardens claims to be America's most photographed plantation, and I can see why. The huge oak-lined private road to the plantation home is so spectacular, you'll feel like Benjamin Martin himself, hopefully minus the hatchet. Admission is $20, $10 for kids 6 to 12, and 5 and under is free. Military and seniors receive a $2 discount. Boone Hall is also one of America's oldest working living plantations. They've been continuously growing and producing crops for over 320 years. During the right season, you can even participate in the harvest yourself. I know it had me in the mood to jump down, turn around, and pick a bale. They give many tours, including a coach tour of the whole grounds, a guided house tour, and a few others. The smokehouse, the oldest structure on the plantation, is estimated to have been built around 1750. Slave Street is a series of cabins built for slaves' residences when the plantation was fully functional, and this is where most of the historic reenactments and educational activities take place seasonally. The Cotton Gin is currently under construction, and the Butterfly Pavilion was also out of season. I think my favorite part of Boone Hall was the stables. They have several beautiful horses, and the staff seemed very friendly and open to interacting with visitors.
I want to go too.
Bryant and I even followed to an adjacent field to watch some training exercises. They are also known for hosting many events and festivals throughout the year, and you can check all those out on their website. Note that I've attached links to all the sites I went to see in this video description. Now, if you're on a smaller budget, Pinckney Hall is right across the street, which is free, but not quite as grand. The Isle of Palms is considered by locals to be one of the best beaches around. I find that it's cleaner, much less crowded and touristy as Folly Beach or some of the other nearby beaches. In the summer, it will be hot enough that you'll want to swim, and this is the beach I'd recommend. Fort Moultrie is a series of citadels on Sullivan's Island built to protect the city of Charleston. The first fort was built of palmetto logs and inspired the flag and the nickname of South Carolina, the Palmetto State. This fort was still incomplete when the British attacked in 1776, but Colonel William Moultrie held them off for a 9-hour battle until the ships were forced to retire. Charleston was saved from British occupation until 1780. Flying above the fort that day was the Moultrie flag, or the Liberty flag, which is still an icon of freedom and the Revolution to this day. In December 1860, South Carolina seceded from the Union, and the federal garrison abandoned Fort Moultrie for the stronger Sumter. 3.5 months later, Confederate troops shelled Sumter into submission, plunging the nation into civil war. You can still look over the walls down the cannon barrels directly at Fort Sumter. Well, most of us can.
What's happening out there?
Shall I describe it to you? Would you like me to find you a box?
Admission is a $2 donation, and the self-tour allows you to roam and explore the cannons, underground bunkers, and flag tower, as well as some historic displays. Staff and reenactors are available to answer your questions. Though it's not really an attraction, the 140-foot Sullivans Island Lighthouse, built to replace the defunct Morris Island light off Folly Beach, was first lit in 1962, and it was on our way. I thought it was pretty cool, and it's triangular, so there's that. At this point, Bryant had to leave, so I continued on to Patriots Point alone. Patriots Point is home to the USS Yorktown aircraft carrier, the USS Laffey destroyer, and the USS Clackamore submarine. I only had time to tour the Yorktown, but you could spend the better part of a day seeing all that they had to offer. Admission is $18, kids ages 6 to 11 are $11, and seniors receive a $3 discount. Parking is $5. On the USS Yorktown, there are 6 different tours that begin on the hangar deck: the living and working areas, the fire room and engine room, the flight deck and the bridge, the ship's memorials and models, the wardroom and brig, and the Charleston Naval Shipyard Museum. Completing all the tours can take several hours and can be guided at a scheduled time or self-guided via well-marked routes. I chose to take a self-guided tour for time's sake. Some of the other attractions include over 24 historic military aircraft on the hangar bays and the flight deck, a small theater, and a snack bar. My favorite exhibit was the Congressional Medal of Honor Museum. This interactive museum is designed to educate visitors on the medal's origin, the toll of war, and the bravery that it evokes. It was incredible to see and hear the stories men have endured for the sake of their country. All in all, Patriots Point is a must-see exhibit for everyone. I saw people of all ages having a blast, and I know I sure enjoyed it. I picked up John Boy, and we took a short walk in the waterfront park to enjoy the ocean one last time before dark. There are many such parks along the downtown bays. Then was supper at Fleet Landing. Fleet Landing's menu is an integration of classic and contemporary Southern fare using fresh coastal seafood. 3.5 stars on Yelp, and we each paid about $35 per meal, tip not included. I'm not a huge seafood connoisseur, but I thought the food was amazing. However, the portions were a little small for the price. Service was excellent. I got the pan-fried Southern Carolina lump crab cakes, and John got the Low Country seafood pasta.
You notice that I call this the Goobers do Charleston Part 1, and that's because I only got to see about half of what I actually wanted to see. I'm going to be going again this summer to shoot Part 2, where I will see everything downtown, including the market, the Battery, some other historic landmarks. I might go to a tea plantation, probably check out some more of the local beaches. I'll be going hopefully to Fort Sumter, and of course I'll be going back to Piggly Wiggly. This is Ryan with the Biggest Goober.